Kia built a baby Telluride. Now the Telluride has a lot of buzz around it because what Kia did is they essentially built a Range Rover for half the price. It's a beautiful piece of design with an incredible interior, and they took that design language and sprinkled it on a teeny tiny crossover. And Sofian, what are we reviewing today?
So Tommy, we are here in, I guess, Newport Beach area, or like Orange County, because we're driving the 2027 Seltos, the all-new second generation.
That's right, and the Seltos is their little tiny crossover that competes with vehicles like the Subaru Crosstrek, the Toyota Corolla Cross, the Honda HR-V. It's an incredibly popular segment. Now, Sofian, how many Seltoses did Kia sell last year?
They sold just under 60,000 units, Tommy, which is pretty impressive.
So a lot of cars, but to just demonstrate how popular this segment is, Subaru sold over 200,000 Crosstreks. So this is a really hot segment, and Kia has done some really interesting things inside and out of the Seltos. Now, Sofian, I'm going to take the camera from you.
Sure thing.
And we're going to start with this little blue one. I want you to walk me through the exterior design, and let's talk about why folks are saying this is a baby Telluride.
Yeah, I mean, just looking at this thing, Tommy, if you guys like the new look of the 2027 Telluride, this basically has like the same kind of presence to it. You have some updates here with the look. The Tiger Nose grille has been, redone, obviously. This one here is the EX trim, which is kind of like the up-level mid trim of the vehicle, but it also is missing the X-Line package, which that model has there. That's the SX X-Line. So you can kind of clearly see the differences in the grille, Tommy. But what do you think? Which one actually looks better in your eyes?
I think that the X-Line has a much beefier look to it.
Yes.
Right? It looks much more tough. It's not an X Pro, so it's not intended to be an off-road machine in any way. It's just supposed to give you an aggressive look, and especially in this color, this is something pretty unique in this category.
Yeah, this is called Terrain Brown, and we first saw this color, Tommy, on the Telluride. So again, Kia just happened to have us be driving the same color that we saw on the Telluride when it was first revealed. Although this color here, this light blue, I forgot the name of it, but I also don't mind it as well. Although I don't remember if you can get this color on the X-Line trim. I think you can, but they also, Tommy, have a matte red, magma red matte. That's the one that I would get.
Yeah, I mean, and matte colors are typically reserved for high-end Mercedes, G-classes in Beverly Hills, but you can get a little tiny Seltos in that matte color.
Sure.
And I keep saying little tiny, but it's actually not that small because it's grown about 1.8 inches in overall length, 2.5 inches in the wheelbase. And Sofian, there are some numbers that Kia is touting as best in class.
Yeah, so they're claiming best-in-class rear seat legroom, best-in-class cargo flexibility, which, let's be honest here, Tommy, this segment is known for having a small back seat and not really having much more trunk space than a typical lifted up, hatchback. But I have to say, I really like the boxy look of this thing. It kind of makes it feel and look more like a real SUV as opposed to a lifted hatchback.
Now, the base Seltos comes with 16-inch wheels. This is the 18-inch wheel here on this EX. I like the two-tone. It really does break up the look, but if you want to go crazy, it is possible to get a 19 on the top trim, but I think it's a little much.
Yeah, I think just like on the Telluride, Kia is really obsessed with the black wheels, and black wheels are a trend right now. I almost wish they would go away. I kind of want these wheels to have like a different, like bicolor design, like just some kind of texture here, because it makes the wheel look smaller than an actual 19, Tommy. I'm not a fan.
Now coming down the side here, a little bit of body cladding. This X-Line does have the black mirrors. It also has a full panel sunroof, which is a really great feature in this category. The floating roofline, and then I think the best angle is actually the rear end because they've made it very squared off, very boxy. She's got some hips to her too, and then it's got the light bar that kind of stretches across the width of the car.
Yeah, and then with the X-Line package, you also get the black badging, which again, I think works with all the additional gloss black treatments. I also like the big spoiler at the back with the third brake light and the wiper that's kind of hidden underneath there, which is a nice touch. And then Tommy, I guess we may as well open the trunk because it actually has, again, best-in-class trunk, and unlike a Subaru Crosstrek, Tommy, we have a power liftgate.
Nice, yeah. So over 60 cubic feet worth of space when you fold down the second row. What's this one with the second row up?
It's around 28 cubic feet with the second row up, and then just over 64 with it down. And there's also, I think we showed it earlier, it's a pretty decent underfloor storage area there with a temporary spare, Tommy, so you don't have to deal with a fix-a-fly kit.
Dude, that's always good to see. I love a temporary spare. Well, Sofian, I'm going to cut now. Let's check out the blue car and talk about the engine.
Sure.
This video is brought to you by our friends over at Grainger Warranty. So let's say you're buying a Kia Seltos and you want to keep it in the long run, well past the manufacturer warranty. Well, that's where Grainger comes in. You see, you can get your car fixed at the dealership using factory-backed parts and have that peace of mind knowing that you can keep your Kia in the long run and enjoy sleeping easy at night. Check them out using the link below for a discount. Now the Seltos that everyone's been talking about is the upcoming hybrid, which I'm told will start hitting dealerships around Q4 of 2026. But these two are the engines that are for sale right now in dealerships. Let's start with the blue car.
Yeah, so Tommy, this is the base engine, and this is probably what I'm gonna say like 90% of Seltoses that are going to be sold for now are going to have, because if you want the up-level turbo engine, you have to get this top trim, Tommy, which is a little bit of an interesting decision for Kia. But coming back to this engine, this is the company's 2-liter direct injection, naturally aspirated 4, 147 horse, 132 foot-pounds of torque. It's hooked up to a CVT, Tommy, if you can believe it. They call it an IVT, with your choice of either front-wheel drive or all-wheel drive for like an extra $1,700. This model will get up to 30 miles per gallon combined. And again, 147 horsepower, that's actually on the lower end. But this powertrain, Tommy, 1.6 liter turbo, 190 horsepower and 195 foot-pounds of torque. You also get a conventional 8-speed auto and all-wheel drive as standard when you go for this one, 2430. So 26 combined, it's not really, to me, not much of a penalty, I think.
Well, the challenge with both of these are, especially when you're comparing it to like the Toyota Corolla Cross Hybrid with fuel economies in the 4 digits, right?
Like 45.
Yeah, when you're talking like mid-20s, the numbers aren't really that impressive.
No.
So for me, I'd be tempted to wait and see what the hybrid is like when those numbers are revealed.
Right.
Because look, the reality is neither of these engines are going to be Mustang GT beaters.
No.
So if I'm buying a car in this price range, I really want to prioritize that fuel savings at the pump.
Yep.
So I might wait for the hybrid, but we'll have to wait and see what these things drive like. If you want to see a drive impressions review, check out Sophian's channel, Redline Reviews. That's coming up shortly. Now, Sophian, both available in front-wheel drive and all-wheel drive.
Not for the turbo.
Only the turbo's all-wheel drive?
all-wheel drive only.
Only all-wheel drive. Okay, gotcha.
Which is interesting because the Kona, the sister vehicle, you can get front-wheel drive on the turbo Kona.
That is interesting,
but not on this.
Now, Sophian, I'm going to actually surprise you here.
Oh.
I want you to hop into the driver's seat of the EX here.
Sure.
And the EX offers some things over the X line, which I think are in some ways better. For example, these two-tone seats looked fantastic. Let me give you the key so you don't, it's over 100 degrees out here today.
Well, mostly I was thinking about your phone, Tommy. I don't want it to shut off because it's really hot outside.
Good point. So start her up. Now, this two-tone seat looks really, really nice. It's got even a little bit of a tritone element here in the middle.
It's like blue right there.
You see that?
Like, I wonder if that's gonna match the color of the car, but I doubt that. That would be a lot for Kia to change because this matches the exterior color in blue. But yeah, if you guys want basically the two-tone with the gray and the black, this is the Syntex, the synthetic leather. You have to go for a non-X-line trim because we'll show you in the X-line later. That only comes with a black interior.
Right. So there's a reason to get an EX, and then the other reason to get an EX is pricing. Now this car starts a tick under $25,000 for the very base model.
Yes.
That X-Line that we were looking at earlier, $37,000.
Yeah, it's a little pricey.
This EX as configured, $33,505.
Okay.
So this kind of splits the middle a little bit. It still gives you some good features though, like a heated steering wheel.
Yep.
Like
heated seats.
Yep. You still get the 12.3-inch main screen here. I find that this screen is actually very, very quick and easy to use.
Yep.
It's just responsive. It does what you needed to do. It finally has wireless CarPlay.
Yes.
Which is a big deal because in the previous gen, if you wanted the big screen, you had to do wired CarPlay.
Yep.
It doesn't have the full digital cluster of the X-Line, which we'll show you in a second. So this looks digital, and there are digital elements like the middle, but it's actually like, give it a rev, Sophian. You can see it's actually kind of like this interesting little matrix display that kind of goes up the side, but not as configurable as the tan car.
Yep.
And then you get this strange little 5-inch screen for the dual zone automatic climate control. That's where it's all configured.
Yeah, I mean, it still looks nice, and the fact that the big screen in the center is at least standard on the base trim, because some cars, like I think the Corolla Cross has an 8-inch screen, so
yeah,
that's definitely looking a little small. But I mean, it's, you know, for the middle trim, Tommy, I have to say I like the steering wheel. It's got that weird flat bottom and flat top design. Still don't love the Kia logo off to the side, but it's got really nice leather. It has good visibility, and the seats, Tommy, they're also really comfortable.
Really good seats, phenomenal seats in this car. I'm noticing this EX has a few different drive modes, normal, sport, and snow, but it doesn't have the off-road modes of the X-Line.
So the X-Line only gets that.
That does have a 4-wheel lock button.
Yeah, you can lock it in 4-wheel drive though, or all-wheel drive at least, which is nice.
And check this out, dude. Even the EX has the pano sunroof. That does open and tilt. Really nice feature in this car.
Yeah.
So there's a lot to like in here for the low 30s.
Yeah, no, it really does, and Kia really just packs in the features at a price that kind of is similar to a lot of its rivals, so that's impressive.
Do you have the power seat, the 10-way in this car?
I do have the power seat, but it is, yeah, it's actually still a 10-way.
Interesting.
I'm surprised. Just
Yeah.
no memory seat and no ventilated seats, obviously. But
Yep.
it's still a lot of features.
And then obviously here on the passenger side, it's going to be manual seat.
Yeah.
I really appreciate that we still have physical buttons for shortcuts and a volume knob and controls for climate. Huge win from Kia on that. Single wireless charger down here, 3 USB-Cs, conventional shifter, conventional cup holder. It's really well laid out.
Yeah, no, I think this is comfortable. It's really easy to see out of. And I think for most people, especially if you're coming out of like a smaller vehicle, like a Corolla Cross, for example, this is going to feel like a class above.
Well, let's jump into the tan car.
Sure.
And let's show them the difference that you get when you spend all the marbles. Now, $37,000 is a lot of money, and you could get kind of a mid-range Sportage for that money. So that's going to be a question you have to ask yourself. Do I want all of the features that come in a top line Seltos, or do you get the slightly bigger car? Now, Sofian, what are some of the changes that you see for your money here?
Yeah, so once we get into this car, you'll notice it's all black on the interior, but you're kind of showing it already. The instrument panel is what is the kind of the biggest change. You're going to have a full digital 12.3-inch cluster, and there's a reason for that, Tommy, and you only get that when you go for the Prestige package on this trim, and that's because if you signal left or right, it shows you what's in your blind spot, so that was necessary for them to kind of do.
That is cool. I do like that feature. Yeah, really nice. Same 12.3-inch center screen here.
Yep.
But one thing which I do quite like a lot, you get the full 360 camera system. You can do the little round vision system too, see what you're parked next to. That's really nice. But this really is the amazing part, especially for this category of car.
And in this heat.
Heated seats, heated steering wheel, not super useful. Ventilated seats and memory in a subcompact.
Yeah, and the ventilated seats actually work really well because some manufacturers, Tommy, they put a ventilated seat and you can't feel anything, but I can actually feel the cold air.
Feels good, yeah.
Yeah.
I also love the mesh headrests.
Yeah, that is interesting how they put the mesh headrests in the X-Line version.
Yeah, and they're better. They're squishier.
Yeah, they're really, it's like a soft pillow on your head. It's really nice.
But the thing I love about this car is it feels a little bit like I'm sitting behind the wheel of a small van. And you're probably thinking, oh, I don't want that. But vans are the greatest road trippers because they have very big greenhouses and tall roofs.
Right.
Now, Sophie, I'm going to actually scoot your seat down
Please,
a little.
I'm such a short person compared to you, Tommy, so.
But when I hit the bottom, I mean, the amount of headroom I have in this thing is absurd. Huge vertical windshield that's pretty far away, kind of like an old Volkswagen bus. So it feels really roomy, kind of like a fishbowl effect, but it feels like you could fit way more stuff in here than you'd expect out of something like a Crosstrek or a Bronco Sport or, you know, the little Chevys.
Yeah, even like just sitting next to you here, Tommy, there's a lot more width space in this car. You don't feel like we're kind of rubbing shoulders like you do in some of the other vehicles in the class.
Now, Sophia, let me get to my driving position here. That's about right. Why don't I take the camera? I want to show them the back seat. Put her in a park.
So that's basically your driving position right there, Tommy, right?
Yeah, and it doesn't seem like a lot at first, but if you compare this to like pretty much any other car in this category, you realize like this is a big back seat. We also have a little bit of recline.
That's actually a lot of recline.
It's like 20 degrees, isn't it?
Yeah.
And then even the middle seat, yes, there is a center console hump, pretty roomy. Super appreciate the fact that we get rear vents for kids, furry friends, that kind of thing. USB-C charging in the seat back. This is definitely one of the highlights. And even in the back seat with the pano roof at 6 feet tall, I have enough space. So huge, huge win for the back seat of this Seltos. Something that we take for granted, but is not always the case in these cars.
Yeah, it's very impressive.
So, Sophion, lot to love here. I do have one big gripe. Let me turn it off here. You want to guess what my gripe is?
Oh gosh.
Do you know me well enough at this point?
I think it has something to do with these door handles.
The door handles. You know me well enough. These electronic door handles I've never liked. I've always found them to be finicky, and you may get some fuel savings, but what is this, 26 combined?
Yeah.
So clearly they're not doing enough for the inconvenience they add. I just wish they would go away from them. But apart from that, I really do like the car. Here's the key, by the way. You call this the detonator style key?
Yeah.
Is that what Kia calls it, or is that what
I feel like that's what they first called it when the Stinger came out.
Yeah, exactly. It does have remote start. It doesn't have the smart summon feature.
No.
But guys, there's a lot of value here, I think. 37 is a lot of money for a small crossover, but when you consider heated seats, ventilated seats, pano sunroof that opens, memory driver seat, 12.3-inch screen, 12.3-inch digital instrument cluster, 5-inch screen for the climate control, wireless Apple CarPlay, all-wheel drive, turbo power. I mean, there's a lot to like here.
Yeah.
And towing capacity?
2,000 pounds,
2,000
which I think the
pounds.
old one didn't have a towing capacity. It was not rated.
So it's infinitely better, is what you're telling me.
Yeah.
Well, guys, let us know what you think in the comment section below of the new Seltos. Is it, in fact, a little baby Telluride? Head over to alltfl.com and Redline Reviews if you want to check out Sofino's channel, and we'll see you in the next video.